Hey everyone, welcome to Dev Trends on the Go. Today's Qiita Picks. It's Friday, August 7th, 2026, and this is perfect for your commute.
Yeah, and just to give a little context for our global listeners, we source all of our topics directly from Qiita, which is basically the Japanese software developer community's equivalent of like Dev.to or Medium.
Right, it's a huge platform over there.
Exactly. It gives you this real-time pulse on what's trending in Japan's tech scene right now.
Which is always super interesting.
Yeah.
And real quick, before we get into the actual trending articles, please take a second to just hit subscribe and like the show so you never miss out on these trends.
Absolutely. So our first big article today breaks down a recent Google DeepMind paper. It's all about why an AI can, guess the cause of a bug in your code, but it isn't actually thinking of the solution.
Wait, so you mean the AI is just guessing based on its memory? Like, it's not actually solving the problem? Yeah, pretty much. So the paper explains this using some philosophical terms. There's induction, which is just finding patterns in past training data, and then there's abduction.
Abduction, like UFOs.
No, abduction is when you invent a completely new hypothesis from scratch, right? Like how Einstein came up with his theories. And AI only uses induction.
Oh, I get it. So it's kind of like seeing wet grass and just assuming it rained because you've seen that before, without realizing it could totally just be a broken sprinkler.
That is a perfect analogy, yeah. And this is really a heads up for any developers relying on AI to debug complex, unprecedented code issues. It's just pattern matching.
Wow, okay. That is super good to keep in mind.
Right, and speaking of AI just pattern matching, that reliance actually leads to some really convincing hallucinations. Which brings us to this trending article about a completely fake PHP 9 release.
Wait, quick question before I move on. Is PHP 9 actually out?
No, not at all. PHP 8.6 is scheduled for late 2026.
Wow.
Yeah, but this AI-generated article hallucinated a whole release. It even made up fake features like an arrayed assorted function, and it mixed in real upcoming features from 8.4 and 8.5.
That's wild. So it just blended fact and fiction together perfectly.
Exactly. It's a huge warning for all engineers trying to stay updated. You really have to verify AI-generated tech news nowadays.
Yeah, no kidding. So how are people dealing with that? Like, how do you stop it from just making things up?
Well, to stop the hallucinations, developers are heavily leaning into context engineering. There's this massive trending guide on Qiita right now, all about AI-driven development and setting strict boundaries.
Oh, that sounds a lot like giving a new employee a strict handbook, right? Instead of just talking to them informally at the water cooler.
That's exactly what it is. In this framework, the permanent handbook is a file called claude-md. The AI has to read it every time.
But wait, if it reads it every time, wouldn't that clutter up the AI's memory with stuff it doesn't need for every single task?
It would, yeah. That's why they use skills. Skills are basically standard operating procedures that the AI only looks up when it specifically needs them.
Oh, gotcha. But if the AI is making the decision to look it up, what if it messes that up?
Right. So for the mandatory stuff, you don't leave it up to the AI. You use hooks.
Hooks.
Yeah, they're hard deterministic rules that just run automatically. No AI decision-making involved.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. But what if the AI needs to use, like, outside tools?
For that, they use MCP, or the Model Context Protocol. It's a universal plug that lets the AI securely talk to things like Figma or Slack.
Wow, okay. That's a lot for one AI to juggle, though, right?
It is. So they break the work down using sub-agents. You give the main AI subordinates to go do isolated research, so the main workspace stays clean.
That is super clever. This actually reminds me of a YouTube transcript I saw trending on Qiita, where a Japanese team connected Claude to a physical robot using an ESP32 microcontroller.
Oh, the dancing robot project.
Yeah. The robot totally failed to repeat a dance because the AI was stateless. It basically thought, hey, I already output the text I danced, so I'm completely done. It had zero physical awareness.
Exactly. It's a classic state management issue.
Yeah.
The takeaway there is you have to leave state management and deterministic actions to human-written code, like those hooks we talked about.
Yeah.
And you just let the AI handle the ambiguous text interpretations.
Yeah, that is so crucial for devs moving from just copy-pasting chat code to actually building automated agentic workflows.
Definitely. Now, shifting gears from how we write the code to where it actually runs, there's a really practical cloud infrastructure article trending.
Oh, nice. What's it about?
It's a guide on moving from AWS Batch to ECS service, specifically for web apps.
Okay, so how would you actually use this at work? Does that mean switching from like tasks that run and then end to apps that just never stop?
That's the exact difference, yeah.
Yeah.
And there are 4 key things you have to learn for this migration. First, you're maintaining a specific task count with a service.
Okay, keeping the lights on.
Right. Second, routing all that traffic using a target group. Third, understanding health checks.
Wait, don't batch jobs have health checks too?
Sort of, but for an ECS service, a health check means I'm still responding to HTTP traffic, not just exiting with a 0 code when a script finishes.
Ah, right. That's a huge difference.
It is. And the fourth thing is rolling deployment, so you can update the app without dropping users.
Got it. So this is really for back-end engineers who are moving from, managing background jobs to deploying always on serverless web services on Fargate.
Exactly. And once you have that web app running 24/7, it needs fast data. Which brings us to an amazing post about solving the N+1 problem using Elasticache serverless for Valkey.
Oh, the N+1 problem. That's when you ask for a list of bus stops and then have to ask the database again for the timetable of every single individual stop, right?
Yes, and that is precisely the data set this developer was using. They took Japan's open transit data, so we're talking nearly 4,000 stops and almost 600,000 timetables.
Oh, wow. That sounds horribly slow to search through sequentially.
It was. It took about 743 milliseconds originally, but they moved it to Valkey and used GeoADD and ZADD commands to create pre-sorted geographic and time indexes right in memory.
No way. And did it actually speed it up?
It dropped the query time to 8.27 milliseconds.
Whoa. Wait, an almost 90x speed up.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I do remember seeing something about a technical hurdle in that post, though. Didn't they get a cluster cross-load error?
Good catch, yeah. That happens when you try to send too much data to different memory slots all at the exact same time. The cluster basically rejects it to protect itself.
So how did they fix it?
They just batch the initial data load into smaller chunks.
Oh, simple enough. So that's super helpful for database admins needing massive speedups for location or time series data.
Definitely. Okay, to wrap up our main section, let's look at a really fun hardware project. A developer used Picaruby to build a custom USB MIDI controller with a Raspberry Pi Pico.
Oh, cool. That reminds me of like building your own custom DJ mixer knob for music production.
That's exactly the vibe. And the neat technical trick here is they used an I2C bus.
An I2C bus, what does that do?
It's a communication protocol that lets a single physical rotary encoder switch between controlling multiple different software parameters all on the same 2 wires.
So you don't need a massive mess of wires for every single knob. That is awesome. Sounds like a great project for makers and hobbyists wanting to bridge, Ruby programming with physical hardware.
It really is. And, looking at all these trends today, it leaves us with an interesting thought.
Yeah.
As AI continues to generate more of our code, and even fake news articles, maybe the most valuable engineering skill of the future won't actually be writing logic.
What will it be then?
It might just be strictly verifying reality, architecting the exact physical and cloud boundaries where these AI models are allowed to operate.
Man, that is a really good point. Well, for everyone listening, please remember to subscribe and like the show so we can keep bringing you these insights.
Yeah. And we've got a whole new batch of trending dev insights coming your way tomorrow. Have a great day.
And happy coding.